Welcome back. If you're someone who locked in a really low mortgage rate a couple years ago, either with a new home purchase or perhaps a refinance of your current home, you're probably feeling pretty lucky. Interest rates are now pushing 8%. So what does that mean for home sales in 2023? Patrick Hoey is a preferred lending market leader with Bank of America. He's based here in Connecticut and joins me in Studio A. Patrick, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
So this is what I do. Other than this half-hour show, I'm a lawyer, and I do a ton of closings. And I was closing loans at 2.5%, 3%, 3.5%. And now I'm closing loans like 7 7/8, and I'm seeing them come in even higher. So from a big bank's perspective like Bank of America, where does the market stand right now?
Yeah, I mean, you know that, I just read this past week at the Mortgage Bankers Association, right, that the rates are the highest they've been since 2000. I think the interesting thing is that Bank of America has, which is on our website in the newsroom, has a homebuyer insight report that we do annually. And this last one was done in March, the end of March, beginning of April. And in that, what really bubbled out of it was, okay, we definitely know we have some challenges for rate and home prices, but as I said, what really came out of it was 69% of the homeowners, especially 40 or below, were moving forward on their regular timeline, that the interest rate and the higher prices weren't playing into their decision. It really, and I mean, as you know, for the closings that you do and stuff, the home buyer piece is just not about rate. Part of it, it's an emotional piece. Some of it's, financial priority, whatever it may be, to finally make the decision, hey, it's time to move on. So I think that 69% on the younger crowd is really there to move forward.
Well, and you figure there's people, whether it's the younger crowd and they're, they just got married and they're starting a family, or they've had a baby and they need another bedroom, or even the older crowd where they're saying, it's time to retire to Florida or to downsize, empty nesters. There are people who, it doesn't matter what the rate is, they have to buy or sell or move. So when you get people in this kind of challenging environment, what can you do if somebody calls up the bank, talks to one of your loan officers? Are there some workarounds? What can happen at the bank?
Yeah, so, I mean, a couple things, right? I mean, and you know this as well. You can't have a conversation early enough, right? I think the old saying where, hey, look, I'm going to buy a house, so I'm going to go see my bank. Well, we're going to sell next month, so let's go in there today, really isn't the way to do it anymore. It really is like, hey, we're having a thought, maybe over the next 6 months, maybe next year. Now's the time to go in. Go in and see, hey, what's the budget look like? What my credit score looks like, hey, what's the loan to value piece, what are the other things that I might qualify for, what are the other loan terms and options, talk to other lenders to really kind of get grounded in where it's at. From a workaround perspective, really, we've helped a lot of clients right now with pre-approvals. So it's a pre-approval mortgage. So basically, it's a full application, disclosures and everything, minus a property address because you don't have one, you're shopping. But it really gives the client, the real estate agent, and everybody in the process peace of mind that, hey, we've gone through underwriting and we're committed. And, while they're out there shopping, they know that they've answered any questions or any concerns and surprises along those lines. The other thing is, too, is that the bank has really come out with the America Home Loan Grant Program and the down payment program. So the down payment program, which I'm proud to say rolled out in Hartford County just this past year. And the down payment program really allows the client to get 3% of the purchase price, or $10,000, or the lesser of those two, to help towards the down payment. Because the interesting thing on the Home Buyer Insights report, yes, 51% were challenged by rate, right? But 37% were challenged by down payment. So this really speaks to that group that, hey, I can afford the monthly payment, but I'm struggling a little bit with the down payment, so that extra money helps.
Yeah, I ran some numbers before we talked, and I looked at, $240,000 loan, which is right in that ballpark for a lot of starter homes. At 8%, you're paying $1,760 a month. At 2.5%, which we were seeing not that long ago, it's only $948. So it's almost doubled what these young home buyers are having to pay.
Yeah, for sure.
So are you hearing it? Are your loan officers hearing it from people who are interested, just saying, maybe their buying power is less? We know the market is so hot and it's a seller's market and there's 10, 15 offers coming in on houses, if not more.
Yep.
But is there some frustration on this side that maybe their dollar doesn't go as far?
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that. I mean, once again, on the two grants. I spoke to you about the down payment grant, but the America's Home Loan grant, the other grant combined, in the right scenario, you could get up to $17,500. So $7,500 on the America Home Loan grant can go to non-recurring closing costs, or maybe buy the rate down. So that piece of it could help mitigate some of that monthly payment. You know, $200 for a brand new first-time home buyer means a lot, right? And you're not even having a conversation that the furnace might break,
right,
and you might need to fix that or buy new curtains and all the rest of that. So, yeah, no, it definitely plays into it all the way around. I do think that it has sidelined some people, right, that we've seen, but it hasn't curbed any of the enthusiasm to get out there and look, no doubt about it. There's plenty of people. I mean, you know, I think if you spoke to most real estate agents, you know, they got plenty of buyers, but just not enough homes.
Yeah, and that might play into some people saying, I've got that 2.5, 3.5 rate, and I just want to hold on to it. So tell people, you're the expert in this. Are there some, I know you're not going to be able to predict the future. If you were, you know, we'd have even higher ratings than we do. But what can you tell people to look for? Are there some guideposts that you'll be saying, this is a good sign, that's a bad sign, as we move forward where the rates might go?
Not really. I can speak to, once again, that the Bank of America, through the home buyers home buyer incentive report, feels that by the end of this year that the rate should be somewhere around 5.25. So that's pretty enticing, right, all the way around. I think, once again, it's still about the education and getting out there and being ready to go when you're like, hey, now's the time, I want to do it. And I think that's whether, you know, with Bank of America, another lender, plus the real estate agents, right? It's all part of the education to kind of move the whole thing forward.
Well, maybe just get past that hurdle that there are ways to get this stuff done.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned that Home Buyer Insight Report. I mean, that's available on the website. Yep. People should check it out because it's interesting stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Bank of America has some incredible digital tools. So we have the digital mortgage experience, which is on the website, where they can apply for a pre-qualification right through their mobile phone. bankofamerica.com/real estate center has all sorts of information. It actually has MLS listings and actually gives the tag to see whether or not those two grants are viable for the home. It gives tons of information. And the newsroom, it gives the Home Buyers Insight Report, which gives all sorts of information on Gen X, millennials, and all the rest of the other things.
Well, from the lender to the guy who does the closing, the buyers can't possibly have enough information. So that's great stuff. They can go check that out on the website. Patrick Hoey from Bank of America, right here in Connecticut, but a big national bank. We appreciate you being with us here on CT23.
Thank you, Eric. It's a pleasure.